What's going on, Falcon fans? This is your boy Ricondo coming back at you with another video. So today I'm going to come on and talk about the game yesterday. Sorry guys, I did not come on yesterday to talk about the game. Feeling a little under the weather, so I decided to come on today. I didn't really feel like it was a whole lot to talk about anyway because the turnout, how the Falcons showed up yesterday to the game. I didn't think they showed good. Put good film on for us to watch. So personally, I felt like they did not come out and play the game, the type of game that they should be showed us this season. So, um, but we're gonna get into it. We're gonna talk about it, and then we're gonna talk about some things that I like, some things that I thought they could definitely work on to get better in, and things like that moving forward. But if not, guys, if you have not already, go ahead and please subscribe to the channel. Please hit the notification bell so you know when I drop another video. Please hit the like button so I know you guys out here that talk about. And please share my video throughout the YouTube universe so more people can come in and hear me talk about these Atlanta Falcons. So real quick, we're going to go ahead and get into the injuries, of course. I think one of the biggest things we can take away from this game is our secondary is really beat up right now. But that's the life of the NFL, right? We talked about it numerous times about the depth of this team. We felt like we was real comfortable with the depth of this team. I think the coaching staff and the front office feel comfortable with the depth, but I don't know if it's to the extent that we have seen to one position group that we have seen so far this season. As you all know, Casey Hayward is on the injury reserve. Said he got to have surgery, could be back. We have to wait on that to see if he's able to come back. D'Alford did not play in the game. He was nursing an injury. He's listed at day to day, so he might be back this week. We'll just have to see. AJ Terrell was injured in the last game, but can't try to play in this game yesterday and was, I think he played like the first 8 minutes, then he was out as well. So that's one thing about AJ Terrell. And then we saw what happened once that happened when he went down. So right now we got both of our starting cornerbacks out. One of our guys that we really liked in training camp during our season, D'Alford, that's who's out as well. And Jalen Hawkins also went out in the game where he's in concussion protocol, so he won't be able to play and be available this week in this game. So that's one of the things that we got to look at part secondary. So injury update. So AJ Terrell is week to week. D'Alford is day to day. Jalen Hawkins is going to be out. This game at least in concussion protocol. And like I said, Casey Hayward is going to be out for a while. So our secondary is depleted. It's going to be interesting to see if the front office and the coaching staff decide to bring somebody else in. Yes, we had a lot of depth in it. Also, I forgot to mention that Mike Ford also went down to that game. They did not give a status on update on him today, so I don't know his status. But he was another guy. What's going on, James? Another guy that went down. So our secondary is really beat up. There's this time of the season. Unfortunately, the Falcons don't have a bye anytime soon, so they're gonna have to, to play it out with the guys on the roster. However, they could make moves and bring in other guys. Of course, Cornell Armstrong had to come in and relieve for AJ Terrell, and right when they started to target him. That's what's going to happen. Guy really just coming up from the practice squad, just activated, and then get put into the fire against a potent trio of wide receivers like the Cincinnati Bengals have. This is definitely going to be tough. Yep, it's going to be a long season for us. I agree, D. So we just have to see. These guys need to really hold it out. But that's where our injuries at right now. The injuries all in the secondary. We talked about our depth. It's going to be interesting to see if we can actually um, get something from some of those guys. Darren Hall, like I said, a Cornell Armstrong looked like that's who's going to be. See if the offer is going to be able to come back this week. Of course, we got Isaiah Oliver, who's been in the lead a while, veteran. Glad he's back out there playing nickel spot. And then we're probably going to see a little bit more Eric Harris this week. The safety that started for us last year, is going to come in. It's probably fill in for Jalen Hawkins and Dean Marlowe as well, who actually came in to fill some spot for Jalen Hawkins this week, yesterday's game when Jalen Hawkins went out. So those veteran safeties that we got, Dean Marlowe and Eric Harris, going to get a little bit more playing time. But we still got Richie Grant and Isaiah Oliver is back in our secondary. So for this upcoming game, I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue. They do have weapons on Carolina, but not to the extent that the Cincinnati Bengals had, where they really try to take advantage of our secondary and our inability to actually get to the pass rusher. So that's where we're at with the injury report. We'll see what it's going to look like on Wednesday when they actually put out the actual injury report with who practiced and who did not practice. Right now, we do know sounds like AJ Terrell is going to be out for a while. We don't know how long. D Alford might be back this week, and then of course Jalen Hawkins definitely is not going to play this week. So that's is our injury report going on this game. So I just talked about the secondary depth. Like I said, for me personally, I want to know if they're going to decide to bring in somebody else. They do have an open roster spot to actually bring in a guy. They definitely could do that. We'll just have to see what they decide to do. Archie Smith wasn't sure. If they do, they need to bring in a veteran guy to actually fill in that role. I have to go out there and look and see who's out there right now as far as cornerbacks and see who they could possibly bring in to help this team until Dirty said the number 4 pick last year. I'm pretty sure you're probably talking about Kyle Pitts. Yeah, we're going to talk about the offense in just a minute. But yes, we definitely just got to figure out what they're going to do with that secondary depth. We talked about we like the depth on this team, but we didn't know it was going to be this bad. This is the NFL, though. This is what happened. We can't make any excuses. The next man you have the next man up mentality. You got to come out and play. So the depth in the secondary right now it's real slim, and if somebody else was to go down, it'll really be dire straits. They might have to bring Avery Williams and put him back at cornerback to help out. So I was thinking that yesterday, if another corner go down, who would they go to? And I was thinking about Avery Williams. He did get drafted as a cornerback, so that could be somebody they could plug in to play in their spots. But we'll just have to see something like that. So I anticipate them to make some moves, at least to the practice squad, at least see if they bring somebody on the practice squad and have them ready, just in case another guy was to go down in our secondary. But that's where we're at with the secondary and the depth. Right now, we got Dean Marlowe, Eric Harris, Isaiah Oliver, Darren Hall, Cornell Armstrong, Mike Ford, and those are guys, and D Alford if he's able to go. So that's where we're at with our secondary. Other guys going to be out until further notice. All right, that's our depth. Let's see what we got here. So let's talk about the game in itself yesterday and some of the things that we actually saw from the game. I think that our offense could keep the defense. We wouldn't look so soft, but we're not hurting any secondaries. Yeah, we're going to get into that. So let's talk about the game in itself yesterday. Just go some of looking at them. Joe Burrow went 34 for 42, only missed 8 passes. that's not going to get it done on the secondary. I understand that the don't bend and don't break defense that we try to employ, but um, we had no resistance yesterday. We knew it was going to be tough, especially when our secondary went when AJ went down. I think it even made it worse. But you know, they pretty much just did whatever they wanted to do to our defense yesterday. Let's just be honest. We got down so fast that um, I felt like it took the Atlanta Falcons out of the game plan what they wanted to do on offense because of what happened on defense. And then we're going to get into the offense. We're going to talk about offense. Definitely going to talk about offense. But I think the way they score, how easily they was able to move the ball um, on our defense yesterday, just did not help the offense, and that's why we talk about complementary football. When the defense played the way it played yesterday, um, the offense can't do the things that it wants to do. We already talked about identity of this team is a try to win in the trenches on the offense and defensive side of the ball. But I think we neglected the point about the secondary and the receiving core, right? We kind of left those guys out, the skill guys. That's what the NFL is all about today, the skill guys. And sometimes um, that's when you're going to actually win and lose games as well. So um, I really believe that that's that's what really hurt us yesterday. Just the fact that we could not get those guys off the field, especially in that first half. Once again, we only gave up 7 points in the second half. But I thought it was a little too late for that. Like I said, we're going to talk about offense just for a minute in just a minute. But if you're just looking at the game, like I said, he passed for 459 yards, 3 touchdowns. Um, Two of his receivers had over 130 yards. Jamar Chase had 130. Tyler Boyd had 155 yards. And then T. Higgins had 93 yards. So he had 3 receivers almost go for 100 yards. We talked about that. That will not get it done. You can't make excuses. Yes, our offense, our secondary was depleted, but at the same time, um, maybe I thought we might have went too long to go zone. We went a lot of man coverage early in the game, and it hurt us a lot. But I mean, they was able to rush the ball for 78 yards, 3.7 yards to carry. So um, the fact is they didn't even try to run the ball. It just went you know empty a lot, and they just spread us out, and we couldn't stop their passing game. Um, in my opinion, that's where the game got out of hand for us a decent defensive standpoint, and that's where we're at. So we go to the Falcon side. Um, just talking stats. Marcus Mariota threw for 107 yards. Rushing the ball, we had 107 yards rushing. Um, we were averaging 160 some yards rushing. I think the biggest stat that really sticks out to me is Drake London had one reception. Kyle Pitts had 3 receptions for 9 yards. Um, Lamade Sakiz had 3 receptions for 31 yards, and then Demir Bird had 1 reception for 75 yards. At the end of the day, we talk about the ground and pound, and if we're going to be able to run the ball like we want to do and have our identity, I think the biggest thing is we can't let the team get up on us 21-0. Um, I think we're going to be able to keep the same game plan. That if our game plan is to control the clock, run the ball, control possessions, do all that stuff. I mean, our defense got to play complementary football and don't let them put so many points on the board. I thought our defense took a step back in this game, even though it was um, expected because that's what the Cincinnati Bengals like to do. They like to, spread you out, pass the ball. He's going to give his targets a chance to make plays, and they did all day long. Except, like I said, we only gave us 7 points in the second half, but I would say that maybe the game probably was over and done with in the first half. That's just some of the things that we have to look at from a team standpoint. So definitely a lot of things they got to work on, especially knowing now that um, that family's on tape for other teams to go look at and see how they exploit the Atlanta Falcons on the defensive side of the ball. Not all teams have receiving core like Cincinnati Bengals, but at the same time, um, it's on tape how to exploit these guys and how to actually to to get it out. Now, if you want to be more specific, you can look at the way that the Los Angeles Rams did. They kind of did the same thing. They was able to move the ball down the field. They got on us early. We had to fight back in that game. Same thing happened with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We got on early. We had to fight back with those games. All those games was on the road. Um, so the trend right now, if you're playing on the road, the Atlanta Falcons tend to get down big and try to fight their way back. Get out their game plan, what they're trying to do. Um, that could be the way teams are starting to look at us, and so we have to evolve. Arthur Smith mentioned that today, um, being different, how we play on defense and offense. It's the 7 game of the season going to week 8. We have to make some changes, so that's what we're going to look at. All right, so the next thing I definitely want to talk about, and I think this is probably one of the biggest things that everybody want to talk about is the offense and the passing game, right? Um, I think, and I've been talking about this for a couple of weeks now. I am so impressed with our running game, the way we able to run the ball. Everybody knows the Falcon wants to run the ball, but um, you have to keep teams honest. You have to keep team honest, and at this point, I'm not sure what the issue is. I'm not. I'm trying to understand where um you can't get the ball to Drake London and Kyle Pitts, and I'm not putting on the quarterback per se, but whatever they're doing to scheme guys open, it's not working. It's not working. Arthur Smith mentioned today that Drake London was the read on a couple dropbacks that Marcus Mariota had. Of course, they broke down. The first read wasn't there. I assume they got sacked. Pressure broke down in the backfield. But at some point, guys, we're gonna have to. These guys gonna have to figure out how to open up the passing game. Right now, it's just not working for the Atlanta Falcons. Um, what's going on, Kevin? The passing game has to be better. There's really no other way to say it. I love the rushing game. I love the mentality of this team. But I think Three Dirty mentioned up here the number 4 overall pick last year, and Arthur Smith keep mentioning that they are making targets for Kyle Pitts and things like that. But you have to keep teams honest. Yes, the Atlanta Falcons has a dynamic running game, and they're able to run the ball in so many different ways. They're able to use the quarterback in running the ball, all kind of things like that. But you have to keep teams honest. If teams know that you're not going to pass the ball, um, they can find a way to defend you, and that's just the bottom line. They can find a way to defend um, a team that's going to run. And then when we get to obvious passing downs, so you get in 3rd and long, you get an obvious passing down. Yeah. So at one point in the game, we come back out, we get the ball in the beginning of the 3rd quarter, and the first play, Tyler Algier get 1 yard, right? And then the next 2 plays are passing plays, or those are obvious passing downs, right? Because um, they talked about this. You get off schedule on 1st and 2nd down, and this offense right now is pretty much it's dead because we're not able to pass the ball, and that's the point where other defenses are starting to see. Like I said, the more games you put on the film, the more tape you put out there, teams will start to figure a way how to stop what you do good. That's why we have to evolve. Arthur Smith mentioned that today in his press conference. We have to evolve, but we have to be able to utilize our talents. We have talented weapons outside, right? And they right now they are being underused. Um, Yes, they can block in the running game, but those guys are pass catchers. They're dynamic pass catchers, and the ability to pass the ball down the field has to get better. There's no other way around it. We can stop making excuses. I'm not 100% saying it's the QB, but um, whatever it is, they have to figure it out because at this point in time now, um, teams are going to stop the run. And then, like I said earlier, if our defense do not play complementary football and we get down early, um, quick 21 to nothing, it kind of takes you out your game plan. Fortunately, the Falcons were still in the game going into halftime. They had a great drive to make it 7 to 21. Then a good return, right? A good return by Avery Williams going into the half, make it get the field goal on the board. So um, quick strike to Demir Bird to put us up. So those three drives was really important for this team to do the things that they need to be in the game 17-28. But when we came back out in the second half, we could not execute. And I think if you go look at the second half numbers for the Atlanta Falcons offense, it was putrid. It was really was um, no execution whatsoever, and the defense, however, what they did in the first half, you know, gave up so many yards to Joe Burrow in the first half. They only gave up 7 points in the second half. So the defense, they made the adjustment they need to make in the second half to get his offense a chance, and the offense could not take advantage of it. That's just a simple part of it. No, either way around it. Um, was it just me, or did every audible that Mark Mario changed to? Like I said, thought execution around all the way was just bad yesterday. Um, I know somebody mentioned they just should just throw that game film away. Maybe that is the case. I don't know, but whatever they did on the offensive side of the ball yesterday did not work at all. We have a strong receiver unit. It looks like we're not trusting them. We need to put the pass play action, not necessary, or 8 picks being used. And trusting. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna, like I said right now, because my personally for me, I have been an advocate for Marcus Mariota all season long. So I have to go back and I mean, we just talked about a guy that just last week had Offensive Player of the Week. He was efficient, didn't have to pass the ball that much. But like I said, the more tape that's out there, teams start to figure out these guys are professional. They're good at what they do, especially these defensive coordinators. So if you're going to try to come out and think you have the same game plan, and I'm not saying that's what they did, but if you're going to try to have the same game plan week in and week out, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. And at this point, um, they need to figure it out. I need Troy Anderson. I need Troy Anderson moving forward. Yeah, Michael Walker still. I mean, he gets a lot of tackles, but it seems like he's out of place a lot. I thought Rashawn Evans made a great play to get us the ball back in that third quarter. Like I said, if you look at what happened in the second half, I thought the defense played a whole lot better football game. My offense just couldn't get clicking, man. I mean, go back and look at the drives. They might have had 60 yards total in the second half. Um, and that won't get it done. That just will not get it done. Especially think about it, going the second half, down 11, get a score, it's 24-28, we're right there in the game. It could be easily changed the way we was able to do some things. AJ Terrell now played this. He's not going to play this week. He's week to week. I think he probably be out for probably maybe the next 3 games. Maybe he shouldn't have played this week, but he practiced all week. I'm not sure what happened. Guess he felt fine, but now it's week to week. They said it wasn't bad as they thought when they did the imaging. So we'll just have to see how long he's going to be out. Um, those three drives tell me they can do it. I think Marcus Mariota, it's like Matt Ryan needs some easy passes. Yeah, yes. I mean they tried. They tried to get Kyle Pitts early in the game on the screenplay. They tried to get him involved in plays and stuff like that. Um, in my opinion, I feel like Arthur Smith don't trust Marcus Mariota to just do straight dropbacks. It's more of gimmick trying to do play action pass a lot and things like that. Instead of just dropping back and letting these guys cook. I think guys like Kyle Pitts and Dre London can. I know they was probably on the sideline like, wow, I wish we can have a passing game like what they were seeing on the other side of the field, but penalties also still coming at the wrong time when we stop. Yes, there's penalties. Yeah, penalties. I mean, things like that gonna happen in the game. I just feel like it was just a bad game for the Falcons all the way around. Like I said, they tried. They really tried to fix it coming out the second half, but the offense could not, get it going. The defense played well. Defense did give up another touchdown in the second half, but the offense I think had maybe 4 or 5 possessions and couldn't manufacture anything in that second half because they got too predictable. A lot of people's wondering why they wouldn't open up the passing game. It's a great question. Um, but I just believe the way the Falcons built, they're not built to be a come from behind team like that. Um, not in late games. If it's early, like they've been doing, being able to come back and do it slowly, and yes, but in late games, just do drop back passing. Right now, I don't know if Arthur Smith have that much confidence in Marcus Mariota to do that. Our run style expected, but teams are going to use it against us because up until now, we're exactly, and that's the point I'm making. We think about what we do. They're gonna expect us to run the ball, and we still can run the ball. It's no qualms about that. This team is still able to run the ball. Um, I thought they was really respectable yesterday, running the ball. So from a rushing standpoint, the Atlanta Falcons a little under their average. They're about 4 yards at a carry yesterday, so it's a little under average for running game. But the Cincinnati Bengals was ready for it. They were, um, and we didn't execute well at all in our running game. And but in my opinion, if a team does not respect your passing game, it's going to be hard to respect your running game. Also, if you're first and second down, it's not successful. You're getting obvious passing downs. It's easier to call plays in obvious passing down because when it's third and long, um, the defense know where the line of scrimmage is to get that first down. They sit on those routes, um, and then they hopefully their pass rush can actually get there to make the plays necessary to disrupt your timing on some of your passing plays. So that's why it is important to stay, you know, and good down and distance, especially for this offense, because if they so determined to be able to run the ball like they are and play off the run game, they have to have good down and distance on first and second down to be able to throw the ball in timely fashions like they did with Demir Bird. There was a shot play, great call at the time by Arthur Smith to get us right back in the game. 14 right there, put 14 points on the board. I mean, that was really, really impressive by Arthur Smith to call that play. Then to get the turnover on downs, punt it back to Avery Williams. He almost break it for a touchdown. And like I keep telling you guys, Avery Williams is so close to to actually breaking one. Almost broke one the other day, but it actually put us in good field goal range for Younghoe Koo to put in the 3 points. Falcon got all the momentum going to second half, and then just came out flat in the second half. There's no other way around it from an offensive standpoint. The Atlanta Falcons came out flat. Defense was able to give up another touchdown, but other than that, I thought defense played well. Nice for Marcus Mario finally connect on deep. He has on, yeah. I actually, man, that was perfect pass to Demir Bird down the middle. I thought that was so pretty, and I ain't gonna lie, I was pumped up after that play. I thought maybe um, this team just had, just got that it factor to fight all game, to be right back in it. But like I said, on the second half, the offensive side of the ball just came out flat. 3-and-out, turnover on downs by the defense, another 3-and-out. I thought that was the game. If you just want to look at, the way that played out, and then the next drive, the Cincinnati Bengals was able to put the other 7 points on the board, which made it 35-17, which was the final score. From that point on, the Falcons were not able to run their offense, because if the defense was able to, it'd definitely be where where the offense still can run their offense. That's the point. That touchdown in the second half made it 35-17. I thought forced the Falcons. They had to get in the game plan. They had to start passing the ball. That's not what they do. I don't know why that's not what they do, because they have the weapons on the outside to be able to pass the ball. I mean, it's just that simple. I think they have two great receiver pass catchers that they can definitely get the ball to. Drake London, um, Kyle Pitts. I think the Lamadé Sakis been playing great. Demir Bird showed you his speed, his burst. I definitely think that if the Falcons was to open up this offense, it could be successful passing the ball as well. Just not understanding um, the philosophy there and why we're not able to do it. He did mention that they have to evolve. We're going to see if they're able to do that. It's just that simple. Um, a lot of smoke and mirrors with a lot of motion and things like that to get the running game going. But at some point, and you have to understand that some days your defense just not going to have it, and you got to be able to put a lot of points on the board. And yesterday, the Atlanta Falcons was not able to do that. It was just not the case yesterday. Eddie Mills said, listen to Archie Smith today. He basically said he gonna let Mark Margo pass a little bit more. We have right. That's what I was just talking about. He has to evolve. It's really no other way to get better. To make this offense get better. If we don't open up the passing game and utilize Kyle Pitts and Drake London and Lamadé Sakis and Demir Bird, and I mean we have the weapons. I just really don't understand. Um, the run game is dynamic. It's no secret about how well we can run the ball. But if we can open up the passing game, the Atlanta Falcons would be a really, really good team. And the thing, sometimes coaches have their philosophies or how they want to utilize, their offense or run it. In my opinion, I just feel like maybe he don't trust Marcus Mario as much to be a 25 drop back passer. And that's sad because they have the weapons to actually to be that if it needs to be. Um, And I think if you was to open up the offense, it'll make the Falcons offense more unpredictable, because now we have a dynamic run game, and also we could possibly have a dynamic passing game as well. So that's just the way I see it. Like I said, I'm not in the. I do know that the Falcons have the weapons that 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 are needed to actually go out and pass the ball. It's no secret about that. The Falcons have they have Kyle Pitts, the number 4 overall pick, who's really explosive, really hard to cover. We know this. They got Drake London, who's going to be a superstar in this league. Just need to be able to get the touches. Lumdays the kid's been solid, really solid. Um, you know, to be able to do that, you could mix that with the running game. Just imagine how much more dynamic this offense can be. Part of the reason they don't pass more is the line doesn't hold up well on drop back. Mark Smart always running. This is a true statement, and sometimes this goes underlooked. Um, let's not forget Matt Ryan, and this is yes, I know Matt Ryan is definitely not as mobile as Marcus Mariota is, but um, Matt Ryan was hit 150 times last year, sacked like 40 times. So the fact that it's pretty much just still some of the same guys, back offensive line. So I get it. They do not want to be a drop back pass heavy team, but you got to be able to hold up long enough for your guy for him to actually start to complete some passes. Um, the this game is real simple. Um, it's a passing league now. It really is. The run has died out. We do have teams like the Falcons that want to be a run team, but um, when you have weapons that you have, like a Kyle Pitts, like a Drake London, you want to be able to take advantage of those weapons and utilize their skill set. The point is, each coach that goes into the NFL, college level, high school level, they want to utilize their players' skill sets to bring out the best product and the best, the best execution for the team. And that's not what we're getting right now. It's the fact that um, you're underutilizing Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and your pass catchers. They're professionals. They're never going to come out and say it. Um, especially when you're winning, it's easy to not pout and be disappointed about your numbers and things like that. But when you start losing, and these guys, not going to get touches. I mean, Drake London got 1 catch yesterday. Kyle Pitts got 3 catches, but he only got it for 9 yards. That means they're not utilizing. I mean, we talking about a guy that run a 4.4 6.6. You should be able to utilize that skill set. We're talking about a guy who dominated 50-50 balls in Drake London while he was in college. You have to be able to utilize that skill set. Lumdays the kid is just a solid possession receiver that always seems to get open. You got to be able to utilize that skill set. So, talked about the passing game a lot, but it's just that's where we're at right now. If we continue like this, I think Pitts and London gonna start bitching. I, that's my fear, right? Like I said, winning cures all, right? We been on this, these guys like each other a lot. I think they respect Marcus Mariota a lot as well. He's a very likable guy. He's not rah or anything like that, but he's going to go out there and give you your all. But at some point, start losing, and you're looking at your numbers, and you got 1 catch, 3 catches for 9 yards. And you had lofty goals coming into the season, for yourself as well. Because each player comes in, they have team goals, right? And then you have individual goals. You're not even getting close to your individual goals, and the team goals are not. So, like I said, winning cures all. But if these guys would start losing games, yes, I could see this start to be an issue. Will Kyle Pitts get 3 receptions for 9 yards? Drake London get 1 reception for 9 yards. We want these young guys to get disgruntled. Exactly. That's the point. That's the point I'm making. Um, we have to make adjustments during the game. We did make adjustments. I really thought we did. They only gave us 7 points in the second half, so kudos to the coaching staff. Um, Going out, making adjustments they need to make. They need to start making adjustments on the passing game as well, though. Um, D'Angelo Malone need to play. Yes, he played well yesterday as well. Got him a sack. Um, like I said, some of the things that I'm gonna talk about some standout guys from the game that I seen yesterday. That I definitely can bring up, but we did have some bright spots in the game. Personally, I think they should just get rid of this tape, because especially that second half. I thought the first half was better than the second half. I thought it was vice versa. I thought the defense probably just get rid of their film from the first half, and then the offense need to get rid of their film from the second half. How about that? You're right. We need more mix of run and pass and rush. Maybe give the ball to OZ when he does his. Do some jet sweeps, man. Do some mix it up a little bit. America still, yeah, man. He was so close again yesterday. He's going to get there, guys. He's going to get there. He continued to put pressure on the QB. He just can't. He's not able to get the sack. Grady got him a little sack. He's 4.5 sacks on the season. Um, I think it's safe to say we're gonna eclipse the 18 sack total that we had last year from this team. We're coming in on that. Do you think our offense can impose or will it on teams early? That's the key. We have to do this. If our offense can get up early on teams, then we can let guys like D'Angelo Malone, let guys like Armor Evan Katie, um, get after the quarterback and do the pass rush. Um, some quarterbacks you don't want to do that too. Like Joe Burrow yesterday, I mean, his weapons he had, it was kind of unfair, especially when AJ Terrell went down. Poor Cornell Armstrong put him out there. Just got elevated from the practice squad, and now he's got to go out there and actually go against Jamar Chase and those guys. Um, and they target him a lot in that game. But those are kind of that's the life of a backup guy in NFL. Somebody goes down, you got to be ready to come in and make your plays. But to your point, they can get up early. It's going to definitely help this team because then they can stick to their identity that they want to be a smash mouth run team. Along AK on the ends, Carter and Walker, Evans inside. Stop holding these dogs, let them loose. There you go. I love that combination you just mentioned too. Um, and you're right. You just let them go. Just let it be. Um, just got Jane Robinson from Jacksonville. Whoa. Oh yeah, because that's right. The Brees Hall just went on the injury reserve. That's big for the Jets. I got him on one of my fantasy teams too, so that's awesome. Mm. Troy Anderson need to play more too. Yeah, put him out there. What they got to lose? I agree with you on that. He played a lot yesterday. I don't know how many snaps he had. I have to go look. Um, do we do better with the ball first or the form? I actually like us deferring, right? Because believe it or not, and I talked about this, I think last week maybe. I think that Arthur Smith is the master of end of the game, end of the half situational football right now. He plays it so well. If you just look at the game yesterday, going into halftime, to throw that bomb to Demir Bird, go up 14, and then we was able to get another stop, and we was able to put 3 more points on the board. That was just impressive. So I like to defer. I like to defer to the second half. That's just my opinion, especially if you can time it up right, like we have been doing a lot this season. Um, Going in, and if you able to double up like that, double score, on the front end of the halftime, and then come back out and get another score coming out of halftime. That puts you in a great position. So I like to defer. If you can time it up like that and your time possession, situational football, the way Archie Smith has been doing great this year, I think that's awesome. So I like to defer. That's just me. Um, I just hate just the way we did, but I'm really our division against the Panthers bounce back for us. Hey, we're gonna talk about that in just a minute. Just a minute. So Ricondo ETN to the let's do it, man. Let's do it. I got ETN in a fantasy too. So both of those guys gonna boost up for me. The team I played Sunday in fantasy football had Joe Brown. I know you lost big time. He threw for 459 yards. You had you lost big time. I had Chase. I got Chase in the league as well. So I can tell you how many points Chase gave me. Chase gave me let's see here. 32 points. I got 32 points from Jamar Chase yesterday in fantasy. Thanks, Falcon defense, right? Thanks, Falcon defense. Yep. Let's see what we got here. All right, let's go to some of the standout players in this game. For me, I'm gonna go to the defensive line. Grady Jarrett. Like I said, somebody's mentioned D'Angelo Malone. I'm gonna go to those guys. Even though in the first half, like I said, I thought the defense didn't really do anything. But I just like the way Grady Jarrett played. Tried to rally up the troops. So if you saw that on the sideline, he was talking to the to the team, trying to get those guys rallied. So my standout player on defensive side of the ball is Grady Jarrett. On the offensive side of the ball, I would have to right now. I guess I go with Tyler Algier. I thought he had a pretty good game. He did have a touchdown in the game, so he ran hard yesterday. So probably Tyler Algier. So for my defensive player of the game, it's Grady, and then for the offensive player of the game, be Tyler Algier. So that's where we go. There, 330. Burrow's got 86 points PPR. Oh, that's man. That's the only player they needed. They all the other players didn't have to give him anything. They still would have won. Even though Armstrong got cooked yesterday, he tried with a little. Yeah, you got to give Corner Armstrong his props. You cornerback, you out on the island, like I said, and put out there right into the to the frying pan when they already was up on us, and it was no secret. I don't think anybody expected nothing less than what we saw from Cincinnati yesterday. What I mean by the game plan, they was gonna come out and they were gonna throw the ball. It's like I said, it's already out the stats out there how many times he targets his receiver. So this was going to be a game where the defensive backfield was going to be tested the entire game. It's no secret that will happen. And then the fact that AJ went down early in the game, we was already without Casey Hayward. It's going to be a tough game, and if you're not able to get pass pressure on the quarterback, and he's able to sit back and do the things we do. Like I said, my philosophy would have been don't rush, don't send five. I think they was trying to send pressure all over the field. DP's tried to get to him, but I would have played more cover two, sat back and try to make these guys go the long way. Don't give up explosive plays. That was another one of my keys, and definitely what happened. One of the first plays of the game was an explosive play. Richard Grant slipped on the play, but I think he would have got burnt anyway if you're just looking at that play. I thought Boyd had already passed him up anyway, and then slipping didn't help. He was wide open, but I think every all the keys that I had for our defense, I thought that first half they kind of blew it from that standpoint. So, um, and it just went out the window. So, like I said, my standout players was Grady and Tyler Algier. Really, nobody else that I could really. I mean, we saw flashes. Like I said, we could say D'Angelo Malone had a good play. Lorenzo Carter got him another sack yesterday. Um, Other than that, I really don't have a lot of any other guys. I just really want to just forget about this game. Like I said, like Ultimate said, it's only one game, right? So, but I think if you look at this game, you can start to take trends from it. What I mean by that, on the road, um, the 3 games we had on the road with a pretty good quarterback, the Atlanta Falcons have was got down early and had to fight their way back. So that's the Los Angeles Rams, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and now the Cincinnati Bengals. So the key for this team is try to, um, to get away from that, getting down early on these good quarterbacks, because it's really going to be hard for us to come back once that happens. So I really think that's the key for us moving forward. Try to limit um, big plays and slow starts for this team. If they do that, I think they definitely can be better for it. So, and then the last thing we're going to talk about, I think somebody mentioned it earlier. I talked about it before the game. It's the NFC South. Um, and don't look now. The NFC South is wide open. It really is. Surprisingly, the Carolina Panthers beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which is a good thing for the Atlanta Falcons, because now the Atlanta Falcons have a chance to actually um, go up in the division, especially the Tampa Bay Buccaneers play the Baltimore Ravens on Thursday Night Football. If I'm not mistaken, let me make sure. Uh, um, Week 8. Yes, Thursday Night Football. The Ravens travel to Tampa and play the Bucks. That's not a gimme game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, especially how the where their offense is playing right now. So potentially the Bucks could lose again on Thursday. And if that happens, believe it or not, the Atlanta Falcons and the Carolina Panthers are playing for first place. Yes, I said it. Playing for first place in the NFC South if the Bucks lose on Thursday. So um it's a big game for the Falcons. Even if the Bucks was to beat the Ravens, the Falcons need to win to stay tied with those guys going into the Sunday game. Um, I thought a lot of us maybe thought that this was going to be an easy game because it seemed like the Carolina Panthers had, sailed it in and just waiting, going and playing for next year. But it seemed like that's not the case, especially now they're looking at the standings and they recognize that they still are in the hunt in the division. The first key for any team is to win your division. You're automatically in the playoffs. So that's where we're staying in the NFC South. So yes, like I said, the Ravens beat the Bucks on Thursday night. Come Sunday, that game is for the lead in the NFC South. How about that, right? Just think about it. Just think about it. Remember, we was only going 2 games. Yes, we was only going to win 2 games. We already debunked that by the experts. And then, believe it or not, guys, it was out there that the Falcons had the easiest schedule left in the NFL this year. So, um, started off tough. I thought they had the harder 3 game stretch that they had with the Bucks, Niners, and the Bengals. Um, Unfortunately, they was 1-2 in that. But looking at the right now, the Falcons are still in the mix. They're still a contender right now, going into week 8, right? And like I said, the Bucks was to lose on Thursday. The Falcons have a chance to be in sole possession of first place in the NFC South, and then, believe it or not, they control their own destiny because they don't need another team to lose. They just need to win out and do their part. So, if that can happen on Thursday, and they able to do their job at home on Sunday, then it's going to be awesome for us. Kevin said the experts. Yep, they're the experts, man. Right, the experts don't know jack, especially looking at the NFC wise open. I think the NFC East is the cream of the crop right now with the Giants, believe it or not, the Eagles and the Cowboys, and then the NFC North got the Vikings over there. Everybody else is hurting in the North, and then you have the South. Um, we're right there in the South, and then the West. Everybody's hurting in the West, so it's wide open in NFC. 7 teams go to the playoffs in NFC. The Falcons are right in the mix, and definitely still have a chance to make waves. With according to the experts again, they have the easiest schedule left. They definitely have winnable games on their schedule coming up. They got the Panthers twice. And within the 10-day span, right? Because they got the Panthers this weekend, and they have the Chargers, and then on the Thursday night, they got the Panthers again. Of course, you got the Commanders, and then you got the Bears. So, only game that going to be tough, should be tough, where the Falcons, Chargers game in between those Panthers games is going to be tough for those, and the Chargers coming out for bye, so we never get a break on those kind of things. So the Chargers have a bye this week, so they'll definitely be ready to come. Even fortunately, it is in Atlanta, so they have to come and play us in our stadium again. So let's see, can we get that win on Sunday? Like I said, looking forward. Let's take care of business on Sunday. Get ready for the Chargers, and then come right back up on Thursday and play the Panthers again. That's what we're looking for. NFC South is wide open. The NFC is wide open, and the Falcons are right there in the mix. So, guys, let's flush this game. Like I said, if you want to, don't go back and look at it. Some of the takeaways that I took from this game, for the most part, is we're gonna have to make some adjustments in our secondary to make sure that we compensate for some of our veteran guys out. Got the next man up mentality. We can do that. The offensive passing game definitely got to get unlocked. I think you got to utilize your young talent that you have on the outside to open up this offense. The run game is dynamic, but if you can open it up with utilizing your skill sets on the outside, I think this offense could be one of the best offenses in the league. So I'm not sure if Marcus Mariota can do that. We'll have to find out, but that's just my opinion on that. And then the last thing we definitely got to look at is the fact that the NFC South is wide open, and the Falcons, if things goes like we wanted to go this week, can control their own destiny for the rest of the season. And who would have ever thought going into week 9, we could say that about this Atlanta Falcons team? So sky's the limit, right? We just have to see. So, guys, that's all I have today. Let me know what you think about some of the things I talked about, the injuries, the passing game, the offense, the defense, and then where we stand in the NFC. And this is your boy Ricardo coming back at you with another video. Peace.